Now, you have a very large following. You have a lot of people who love your music, who always come out and support you whenever you're on tour, whenever you're doing a show. For those who are watching, and this may be their first time being introduced to who you are, tell them a little bit about your sound. You have a very authentic classical hip hop, old school hip hop flavor to you. And I know your videos, they illustrate that. They have very graffiti art, the breakdancing look, and that real old school classical flavor. Let the people know a little bit about your style.
Well, it's always been difficult to express my style and explain my style. Like when I used to go to the labels, then the major labels, sit down. I mean, I've been in all of them. You know, me and my man Dre and Trev, we've been in all of the major labels. And it was always like, well, who do you sound like? And it was like always difficult for me. I'm like, I don't sound like anybody. I sound like me, you know, but they're not buying that. Excuse me. They weren't trying to hear that. They wanted to know that I sound like young whoever. And, you know, and so until I was able to define myself, and my sound is old school. I mean, old school only in the sense of I used the classics to inspire me, you know, and when lyricism was big, storytelling was big, being able to perform and rock a crowd was big. I keep those things with me and I walk with them regularly, so that kind of defines my sound. And if I could define my sound in two words, I would probably say creativity and maturity. You know, my music is very mature. There's a population of underserved listeners right now, man, that, you know, they aren't quite, you know, 16, 17-year-olds have parents of, you know, 34, 35, 40, and they're looking for something, and it's not necessarily the young artists that are out right now, and it's also not the old school artists as well, so I'm just like right in the middle, and that's where I fit. I fit with, you know, my music, you know, from all the shows that I've done, whether at the Birchfield or whether at Albright Knox Art Gallery or wherever, my crowd really is from babies, you know, 2, 3, 4-year-old up to 60-year-olds. You know, I mean, whether it's black women, white women, you know, Asian, it does not matter. Like I have a universal sound, you know, and that's just good music, classic music. That's what I strive to make. It's just universal music, you know. So I don't think it goes any further than that as far as how to define it. It's mature, universal, and definitely unique to me.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely universal. So what are you working on? What can we expect from Edreys? What are your future plans?
I've set the date. I'm not going to say the date because they're buying me to it, but maybe I should. In the spring of 2009, I plan on dropping my album. Hopefully, like April 28th is like the goal. I plan on having about maybe 12 tracks, no more than that. I mean, like I said, once again, I go back to my roots, and all the classic albums, whether it was Illmatic, whether it was, you know, a Public Enemy joint, a Big Daddy Kane, anything from like 88, 89 always had like 10 tracks. EPMD, Strictly Business, 10 tracks. So I'm trying to be around that area, you know, around 10 tracks, because I don't need 24, 25 songs to define me, you know? Give you the 10 dopest joints that I have compiled over the year, you know? So I'm working on the album now, also tour in the spring to support the album. Another thing I'm working on too is just getting back into my visual arts, being recognized as a visual artist, because I have a lot of accomplishments in that arena as well. So I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm doing them all, man. If it's music and art related, that's what's driving me right now, and that's where I'm going. And, you know, just continue to make a positive effect. And also I'm doing a lot of nonprofit work too. It's called, it's a motivational speaker series that I'm doing right now, and it's called Hold On To Your Dreams. So I go into, you know, wherever I can get into, public schools, you know, colleges, wherever, and just share my story and give them words of encouragement, which also reflects my music. My music is very empowering, very inspirational. So that's where I am now, art, music, and speaking, and just encouraging people.
So for those who may be first-time listeners, what websites can they go to? Where can they go to? Because you're so talented, Edreys. You're an artist. You draw. You do sketches. You paint. You MC. You're a talented, crazy lyricist MC, and you're also doing not-for-profit work. Where can people find more information about you, or how can they meet you?
I guess the main place, like I said, my blog. My blog is edreys.com, edreys.com. You know, then there's a MySpace, is the myspace.com/EdreysMusic. Then there's the label, DTR45.com. You know, Facebook. I mean, really, Google. You can, at this point, it's to the point where you can Google me. You know, just those 6 letters, EDREYS, and you'll find everything about me that you need to know. I'm actually amazed, man, and astounded how just how much stuff on the internet is up there about me, man. Like, I was on 2 nights ago, I went to Wikipedia. You know, everybody goes to Wikipedia to find out about their favorite musician, artist, actor, whatever. I have a Wikipedia page. Like, somebody actually put something up there, like born in Buffalo, something, 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 and, you know, all these list of accomplishments from 2005 and up. And I'm like, man, I have no idea who did that, but whatever the case is, man, it's astounding, man. It's astounding to see that. So, like I said, that's the easiest way. Definitely, you can just Google, you know, and you'll find a lot of things.
And definitely, you could catch 2 of his hottest, latest videos that he has on YouTube if you haven't seen that yet. And we're waiting for Tonex to get here, but you guys went from Deepthinker to now your music company is called DTR 45. So how did that come about?
Well, I had known Tone for a long time, you know, and being in Buffalo, being an MC, producer, whatever, you've come to, you know, join alliances. Not even join alliances, but you just associate with a lot of the people in the music. And so for years, we're just kind of running parallel with each other, you know, just obviously what they're doing at Deepthinker, you know, continued on my path of what I was doing. And then there came a point where Deepthinker, just their entire face of Deepthinker changed for numerous reasons. You know, many of the artists left, disagreements or whatever. So just at that point, you know, I'd always wanted to work with him before, but at that point, that's when I felt it was the best time to actually say and strike the conversation, like, you know what, we need to work together. You know, I need your wills, you probably need my, you know, my creativity. Let's go and roll together. Because many times in Buffalo, a lot of artists don't do that. A lot of producers don't do that. A lot of business people don't do that. They don't know how to mesh or even entertain the thought of meshing powers together. So that's one of the things that drives me. I love working with people, you know, other people that are just as talented, you know. So so when I got together with him, I just thought Deepthinker needed to change. I mean, Deepthinker was started back in '97, you know, and you know, frankly, I think it was outdated at the time. You know, that's where he started, you know, on his own. And so now DTR 45 is still Deepthinker, you know, DTR, but the 45 comes from me, you know. So that's joining of our, you know, of our efforts, you know. So the 45 basically comes from the Dope 45s, you know. That's my band. That's my, you know, how I define my crew that I roll with, you know, Billy Drees Williams and the Dope 45s. So that's where DTR 45 is now. And so I'm the new face of DTR. We're making strides, man. We're making an impact, and it's happening. It's happening, man. It was definitely for a good cause.
Now, I know your grind is 24/7. You're like the hardest working MC coming out of Buffalo, New York right now. What can you let the viewers know about you on your personal life? Tell them a little bit more about your personal side.
Personally, man, I mean, I'm happily married. Have two wonderful children. Yeah, and I definitely don't get any sleep, man. I don't. People always say, well, how do you balance your time? I don't. You know, I don't. I wish I had somebody to balance my time for me, but I don't know how. I just keep going. You know, I keep going. I'm also, one of the things I need to work on is like prioritizing, you know, because there are certain things, and I'm getting much better at that now, knowing that, okay, I don't have time to waste. Like, time is valuable, man. Like, outside of just living day to day and getting older as, you know, where each day goes on, but there are tasks that I need to do that will get me to where I need to go. And if they aren't aligned with that, then I don't need to waste any time with it. So on a personal level, I'm always growing, you know, as a man, as a husband, as a father, as an MC, as an artist. I'm constantly just evolving, man, that's what it should be about for everybody. We should all continue to grow and evolve, man, because if you're not growing, then, you know, you're going to be complacent, you're going to be unhappy, you know, you're going to be afraid to take risks. So, like I said, on a personal level, man, I'm just a very, you know, personable person. I think I like making friends. I don't like offending people. I mean, I don't walk on eggshells, but I just try to live a very, very positive life with a very positive mindset and outlook on things.
Well, thank you, Edreys, for your interview today. You heard it first, Edreys, okay, right here on Urban Legacy TV, your co-host, Shemisa Ali. And you can catch more of Edreys on his website. Doug, we'll put that up for you, and we'll check you later, all right?